Rama Rama, Namaste everyone. Welcome you all to class 7 of Samskritasri Pathamala 2. Today we will try to do lessons 3, 4 and we will at least start lesson 5. Let us begin with English shloka. Shuklam Varadharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vignopashantaye Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Jnananandamayam Devam Nirmalas Phatika Kritim Adharam Sarva Vidyanam Hayagrivam Upasmahe Saraswati Namastestu Veena Pustakadharini Hamsavahana Marudhe Vidyadanam Kurushvame. So today's Subhashitam is Nacha Vidya Samo Bandhuhu Na muktehe paramagatihi na vairagyat param bhagyam nasti tyagasamam sukham. There is no kinsman or any relative or friend. There is no one as good as knowledge is or vidya is. There is no greater refuge or there is no greater goal than mukti or liberation for an individual. And there is no greater good fortune than detachment, and there is no joy like renunciation. So here, Vidya Samo Bandhuhu, Mukti is Strilinga Pada, Ikaranta. So Muktehe Parama, Dan, if it is accompanied by Dan, then we use the Panchami Vibhakti. So Muktehe is the Panchami Vibhakti form. Paramagatihi, na vairagyat, again Panchami. Vairagyat param bhagyam and nasti tyaga samam. So when samam comes, we use tritiya, but here it is a samasta padam. Tyaga samam sukham. So we will begin lesson 3 now. It is nothing but a conversation, a small conversation between the great poet Kalidasa and a small girl of the city of Ujjain where he lived. The conversation goes like this. If anybody wants to read, you can raise your hand. Usha Devate.
Suprabhatam Bhagini.
Ram Ram.
Ram Ram. Kalidasa was a poet of Ujjain. Do you want me to read that?
No, just you can read this conversation, which is on the screen.
Astu Bhagini. Kalidasa. Ka tvam bale. He Bala. Kanchana Mala. Kalidasa. Kasyaha putri. Bala. Kanakalata yaha. Kalidasa. Haste kim te. Bala. Tali patram. Kalidasa. Ka va rekha. Bala. Ka, kha, ga, ga, gha.
Yeah. So can you explain what it means?
Astu. Kalidasa. Ka tvam bale. Hey girl, who are you? Bala. Kanchanamala. Aham Kanchanamala. I am Kanchanamala. Kalidasa. Kasyaha putri. Whose daughter are you? Bala. Kanakalata yaha. I am Kanakalata's daughter.
So which vibhakti is this?
Shashti vibhakti.
Shashti.
Kalidasa. Haste kim te. What's in your te sahataute? Haste kim te.
Is it sahataute? Yeah.
Anna Bahini. Haste kim asti. Asti.
So te here is tavate. In
Asta.
Yushmat Shabda, we have in Shashti Vibhakti Ekavachana 2 forms, Tava
Asta.
and Te. So here
Aste
the other
kimte. What's in your hand? Bala. Tali patram. Tali patram.
What is a Tali Patram? Do you know?
Tali patram is the like a leaf.
It's a palm leaf. So
Palm leaf.
Tali Vriksha is a palm tree. So
Palm.
the Tali Patram is a palm leaf.
Kalidasa. Kava rekha. Kava rekha is a strilinga.
Yeah.
Is this the leaf? No, is this the line?
Yes. So what is the writing on it? Rekha is the written matter on it.
Written script, can I say?
So what is the writing is enough.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What is the writing? But ka va rekha.
Va is used for
question.
for the question. Yeah. It's used for the question.
So how do you say?
What is written on the Tali Patram? What is it? What is the writing on it? Kava Rekha.
Kava rekha. What is writing on it?
What is the writing? Yeah.
Writing on it. Bala vadati.
On it is not mentioned, but we have to assume that.
Astu. Bala vadati. Ka, kha, ga, gha. The alphabet.
Yes. The alphabet is right. Okay. Dhanyavada.
Dhanyavada bhagini.
So the whole verse goes like this. Ka tvam bale kanchanamala tasyaha putri kanakalatayaha haste kimte tali patram kava rekha kakha gagha. The prose order will be like this. So whenever we have something in verse, we arrange the words in the correct prose order so that it is easy for us to translate or understand. Bale. Bale is, I think if somebody can volunteer, we can read this and we can explain. Nirmala Krishnan.
Namaste, Bhagini.
Yes. So, Bale Twamka. Can you read this?
Yeah. Bale Twamka. Aham Kanchanamala.
So, this Bale is which vibhakti?
Saptami vibhakti.
Here.
But
does Saptami fit here? What is the meaning of this line?
This is Sambodhana Pradama Vibhakti.
Yes, this is Sambodhana Pradama Vibhakti. So, Bala, Bale. He Bale, Twamka.
Aham Kanchanamala.
Aham Kanchanamala. Can you complete it with the verb? Aham Kanchanamala Asmi.
Asmi. Tvam kasyaha putri. Aham kanakalatayaha putri.
Again here Asti will come. So Tvam kasyaha putri asi. Aham kanakalatayaha putri asmi.
Asti.
So when Tvam comes, we use Madhyama Purusha Ekavachanam Asi.
Yeah.
And with Aham, we use Asmi. Okay.
Te tava haste kim hasti. Me mama haste tali patram asti. Tatra ka va rekha. Tatra ka ga ka asti.
So here, haste kim te, as I explained earlier, this it is nothing but the Shashti Ekavachanam Tava of Yushmat Shabda. Again, me or mama is not given there. So in my hand, the Tali Patram is there. So she's giving the reply that she has a Tali Patram in her hand. Tatra, what is written on it? Kava Rekha. Tatra ka kha ga kha. Dhanyavada. So the next lesson is again some translation. Those who want to attempt can Raise your hand. Anne Marie.
Namaste.
Right. Namaste.
Saha balabhyam saha gramam gachati. He goes to the villages. To the village with the two girls.
So it can be balabhyam, boys, or with the two children.
Children.
Boys, girls, or two children. Okay.
Tvam karnabhyam akarnayasi. You are hearing with the ears.
Yes, again 2 years. So
2 years.
that goes same. Okay.
Yodhaha banaihi yudhyanti. Yodha, the war is fought with the arrows, or the fight is.
Yuddha is yuddham is war. Yodhaha, yodhaha is the warrior. Yodhaha is plural. Warriors fight with
the arrows.
Soldiers fight with the arrows.
Manavakaha gurubhihi saha agachanti. Manavakaha, people.
Manavakaha is a student. So Manavakaha, students,
come with the guru.
Students come with the guru.
Teachers.
Can you try the next? Guru bihi. So here teacher is also in plural. If it is guruna, it will be teacher. Can you try the next set as well?
Bhikshukaha aharaya atati. Bhikshuhu, sorry. Bhikshuhu, the beggar, is wandering for food. Atati, wanders. The monk. Guruhu shishyaya tattvam upadishati. The guru, the teacher, gives to the student this speech or teaching or teaching.
Tattvam upadishati. Okay. He teaches philosophy to the student.
Philosophy, tattva.
Yes.
Radha putrabhyam pakam karoti. Radha cooks for her 2 sons. Putrabhyam.
Putrabhyam.
Tvam devebhyah pushpam nayasi. You bring flower or flowers for the gods.
Take. So naya is to take. Anaya is to bring.
To bring.
So,
Nayasi.
You are taking flowers for the gods.
Janakaha putrebhyah dhanam sampadayati. The father to the sons wealth sampadayati, gives or shares.
Sampadanam is earning. So
Earning.
Earning. He earns money for his sons. Father earns money for the sons. Uttam.
Thank you.
Dhanyavad. Krishna Mahodaya.
Namaste, Ram.
Namaste.
Tvam atithibhyam kshiram anayasi. You bring milk for the guests.
How many guests?
For 2 guests.
For 2 guests.
Dhanikaha agadibhyaha vastrani yachati. The rich person gives clothes to the Agati is somebody who is a refugee, something like
Yes, yeah, a destitute. So
Yes.
the rich man gives
Rich man
clothes
that
to
to
the
the destitute.
destitutes. So gatihi asya nasti iti agatihi. He has no gati.
No
So
gati.
so he is an agati.
Kannappaha Shambhave Netram Arpayati. Kannappa, it's a story of Kannappa who gives the, okay. Kannappa Arpayati.
Shambhave, can you recognize the word?
To God Shiva.
Shambhuhu has become in Chaturthi, like Gurave, it has become Shambhave.
He gives Arpayati means he Samarpanam Karna. That is,
yes.
What is the correct word? Arpayati in English?
Offers.
Offers, okay. Kannappa offers his eyes to Lord Shiva.
Lord Shiva.
Eyes, only one eye here.
Netra, yes.
Lord Shiva. Aham Pashubhyam Ghasam Anayami. I bring grass for the 2 cows. Or for animals, okay. Pashu here, animal.
Yes.
Gurubhyo Namaha. I salute my gurus.
Salutations to the teachers.
Salutations to the teachers.
Just a second, you can try the next set as well.
Ita putraya kupyati. Father is angry with the son. Or, yes, okay. Guruhu krudhyati. The teacher is angry with the disciple.
Yes.
Balakaha kridanakaya sprihyati. The boy sprihayati. Sprihayati is, what is the meaning of sprihayati? I forget.
Desires.
Desires. The boy desires to have toy.
Desires for a plaything or toy.
Kridhaknaha is one who doesn't show gratitude or something.
Exactly. So okay. The ungrateful person.
Ungrateful person is druhyati is what? The ungrateful.
Droham karoti druhyati.
So the ungrateful person
commits treachery to his
treachery to the friend.
Yes.
Lubdhaha.
Yes. Yeah, you can go. Nothing, you can go. Yeah.
Lubdhaha dhanikaya asuyati. The miser is jealous of the rich man.
It's actually the greedy person. Lobhaha. Lobhaha, you would have heard the word. It means greed. So one with lobhaha is lubdhaha.
So the greedy man is jealous of the rich person.
Yes, the greedy man is jealous of the rich man. Uttam. Dhanyavada.
Dhanyavada.
Let me stop here. There are some questions. We'll see them and then proceed. Is there a story regarding Kalidasa, a challenge to write just ka, kha, gha? Probably. I have no idea about that. But this is a popular verse, Katvam Vale Kanchanamala. Narayan S. Narayanan Mahodaya, what is your question?
When we said ka, ga, ga, we said asti. There are 4 letters. Should it not be a santi?
The rekha is ka, kha, ga, gha. So you can put it all together under the head of rekha and say asti. Or you can say ka, kha, ga, gha, santi as well.
Thank you.
Akash. Akash Mahodaya, you have a doubt?
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, Ram.
I had one doubt, ma'am. The difference between pronunciation of re, which is swara, and then ra, and then a ikar.
The swara is r. It is neither re nor ru. It is in between. Whereas re is R and I as in English.
Is there any definition like we say vowel is one which is of any other thing?
I can't hear you clearly. Can you repeat your question?
Yes, ma'am. In English, as we have the definition of vowels and consonants, do we have such similar definitions of swar and vyanjan in Sanskrit, ma'am?
Yes, there is this subdivision of alphabet into swaras and vyanjanas. We did it in Pathamala 1.
No, ma'am. Definition like you were a small amount of time while pronunciating. I was saying,
the matra
like
kala.
when you were teaching consonants.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
So the matra kala is for differentiation.
Okay. Yes. So half a matra kala is used for a vyanjana, whereas 1 matra kala for a hrasva swara and 2 matra kalas for a dirgha swara. Your voice is not very clear. I think it's getting interrupted. Yeah. Next is Pushpam Nayasi. Pushpam is singular, so flower, not flowers. That is true. Pushpam is flower. If it has been mentioned as flowers, I will change that. But generally, when there is a group of things like tandulam, we say it does not mean one rice. So tandulam, odanam, pachati. So it means we take it as a group and make it into singular. Ha. Okay, Krishnamurti Mahodaya. Which vibhakti are you talking
Okay,
about?
so it will be, Ram. For you have said it when you were talking about Putraya is Chaturthi Vibhakti, etc. But if you also write down in these things, Shishyaya is 4.1 and Kupyati is Prathama Purushaya Ekavachanam. That will be beneficial to us.
No, where do you want me to write? In the translation?
In the translation or in by the side of that.
Okay. So this is an exercise. So when you're trying, it is you have to.
Right. I actually did all this exercise by myself because I thought you will be teaching this. So when I So it may be useful. Yeah, but you are already saying it, but
okay. Yeah, no, unless it's important and in a particular context, you may have a doubt. Only then I explain. But otherwise, generally, you can, for your benefit, when you're doing the homework, you can make a note of the vibhakti and vachana.
And pasubhyam, is it two animals or is it many animals? In your translation, pasubhyam, is it?
When it is bhyam, it is two. Pashubhyaha is many.
Yeah, you wrote it as so animals is plural. So
okay. I will check that. It has to be two animals.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Ram.
Okay, we'll go to the next one. Prakash Mohini.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Gajaha mahishat unnataha. Elephant, unnata means raises.
Unnataha is taller. Is tall.
Elephant is taller or higher than the mahishat, elephant rider.
No, Mahishaha is a buffalo. So the elephant is taller than the buffalo.
Tadaga samundrat alpaha. Pond is smaller than ocean or sea.
Yes.
Janaha jivanaye gramebhya nagaram agachanti. People come to the city from village for a living.
So Nagaram is in singular. Gramebhya, villages.
From the village.
For a living they come from the villages to the city. So it should be villages here.
Kauravebhya Pandavaha Sacharitraha.
Sacharitraha. Sacharitraha means they have better conduct.
Pandava have better conduct than Kauravas.
Yes.
Ravi Hare Balwan. Ravi is stronger than Hari.
Yes. So here this Harehe is which vibhakti?
Is Shashti vibhakti. Hare.
If it is Shashti, it would mean of Hari, isn't it? We are saying than Hari. So it should be
Panchami.
Panchami. You can try the next set also. Hari.
Hari Rave Durbala. Hari is weaker than Ravi.
Yeah. Here also Rave is in Panchami.
Panchami.
When we use than, we use Panchami.
Nripaha Shatroho Rajyam Rakshanti. The king protects the kingdom from enemies.
Yes. So the Shatroho is again Panchami.
Panchami.
Nripaha, the king.
Yes. From.
Uttam. Dhanyavada.
Dhanyavada.
Next, we start the Rikaranta Shabdas in lesson 5. So there are basically two types of Rikaranta Shabdas. One type is where we have Pita, Mata, Bhrata, Nananda, Yata, etc. And the other type is where there is a verb root as the basic word. To that we add something called a Trich Pratyaya to make it as, to give the meaning of the doer of that action. For example, we have the dhatu pat. To that, we add the drich pratyaya to get patitr shabda. It means the one who reads. The one who reads can be pullingam, strilingam, or napumsakalingam. So we have forms in all the three lingas. So in pullinga, the form will be pathita for the prathama ekavachanam. In strilinga, we have pathitri, and napumsakalingam, it will be pathitra. So both the pullinga and napumsakalinga shabdas, the basic shabda is pathitra shabda, which is a rikaranta shabda. And we will be seeing the forms of those shabdas soon. So these are the two basic types of the rikaranta shabdas that we will come across. So some of the words which have naturally the rikaranta shabdas are pitra. We are familiar with these shabdas. Pitra, matra, bhratra, jamatra. These are all pullinga shabdas. Pitra, bhratra, jamatra. Pitra is father, bhratra is brother, and jamatra is the son-in-law. Matra, strilinga padam, and it is mother. Duhitra is again strilinga, it is daughter. And nanandra, strilinga again, it's husband's sister. Then we have vyatra, which is wife of husband's brother. So these are some of the rikaranta shabdas. These have fixed genders. Like pitra is always masculine, bhratra, jamatra, all three are always masculine. Yatra, nanandra, duhitra, and matra are always feminine gender words. There are other feminine gender rikaranta shabdas. There is this swasra shabda, which is again a rikaranta strilinga shabda. And there is also this naptra shabda, which means great grandson. It can also mean grandson through a son or a daughter. That is, it can be pautra or dauhitra. Both can be called as naptra. And it can also mean great grandson. But this swasra and naptra have forms which are slightly different. We will see the forms in detail later, but for now you just know that there are two classifications as far as the forms are concerned with regard to rikaranta shabdas. One is the set like pita, mata, etc. The pitra, matra, bhratra, etc. And in those words itself, we have swasra and naptra, where the forms are a little more different. And we have the verbs to which we attach drich pratyaya, and we get the doer of the action as the word. And they again are in pullinga, strilinga, and napumsakalinga with the rikaranta. Strilinga, of course, has an ikaranta. Only pullinga and napumsakalinga get the rikaranta. So naptra in feminine gender is naptri. This is an ikaranta strilinga shabda, and it declines exactly like the nadi shabda. So now let us look at the forms. Pita, pitarau, pitaraha. This is rikarantaha, pullingaha, pitru shabdaha. Prathama vibhakti. Pita, pitarau, pitaraha. Sambodhana prathama vibhakti. He pitaha, he pitarau, he pitaraha. Dvitiya, pitaram, pitarau, pitrana. This is the dirgha r. So you have to make a note of this. In Dvitiya Bahuvachana, it is Pitrana. Tritiya Vibhakti, Pitra, Pitrabhyam, Pitrabhihi. Chaturthi, Pitre, Pitrabhyam, Pitrabhyaha. Panchami, Pituhu, Pitrabhyam, Pitrabhyaha. Shashthi, Pituhu, Pitroho, Pitranam. This again is the Dirgha Rikara. Pitranam. And in Saptami Vibhakti, it is Pitari, Pitroho, Pitrushu. So similar declensions are found for Bhratra, Jamatra, and other Rikaranta Shabdas. Now, if somebody wants to try Bhratra with the same kind of declension for all the 7 vibhaktis, you can raise your hand. Uma Devi Bhagini, do you want to try?
Yes, Bhagini. Ram Ram Bhagini. Vikaranta Pullingah Bhratru Shabdah. Bhrata Bhratarau Bhrataraha. He Bhrataha He Bhratarau He Bhrataraha. Bhrataram Bhratarau Bhratrun. Bhratra Bhratrubhyam Bhratrubhihi. Bhratre Bhratrubhyam Bhratrubhyah. Bhratuhu Bhratrubhyam Bhratrubhyah. Bhratuhu Bhratrunam. Bhratari Bhratroho Bhratrushu.
Uma Devi Bhagini, start from the beginning.
Yes, Bhagini. Rikaranta Pullinga Shabda Pullingaha Bhratru Shabdaha.
Yeah.
Bhrata Bhratarau Bhrataraha.
Yes.
He Bhrataha He Bhratarau He Bhrataraha. Bhrataram Bhratarau Bhratrun. Bhratra Bhratrubhyam Bhratrubhihi. Bhratre Bhratrubhyam Bhratrubhyah. Bhratuhu Bhratrubhyam Bhratrubhyah. Bhratuhu Bhratroho Bhratrunam. Bhratari Bhratroho Bhratrishu. Dhanyavad.
Dhanyavad. Next is the Strilinga Matra Shabda. It is pretty much the same as the Pitra Shabda. Only thing in Dutiya Bahuvachanam, instead of Pitrun, here it is Matra. There is no Nakara at the end. Instead, there is a Visarga. So, if somebody wants to read, then raise your hand. S.K. Sri Priya.
नमस्कारः भगिनी।
नमस्कारः।
ऋकारान्तः स्त्रीलिङ्गः मातृशब्दः। माता मातरौ मातरः। मातरं मातरौ मातृः। मात्राः मातृभ्यां मातृभिः। मात्रा मातृभ्यां मातृभिः। मात्रे मातृभ्यां मातृभ्यः। मातुः मातृभ्यां मातृभ्यः। मातुः मात्रोः मातॄणां। मातरि मात्रोः मातृषु। हे मातः हे मातरौ हे मातरः।
So similarly, can you try Yatra?
याथा यातरौ यातरः। यातरं यातरौ यातृः। यात्रा यातृभ्यां यातृभिः। यात्रे यातृभ्यां यातृभ्यः। यातुः यातृभ्यां यातृभ्यः। यातुः यात्रोः यातॄणां। यातरि यात्रोः यातृषु। ये हे यातः हे यातौ हे यातः यातरः।
हे यातरौ, हे यातरः.
हे यातः, हे यातरौ, हे यातरः.
Yes.
धन्यवादः.
So this is the Rikaranta Pullinga Netra Shabda. This is derived from the verb Neta. I mean, Ni Dhatuhu. So to Ni Dhatuhu, when Drich Pratyaya is added, we get Netra Shabda. In Pullinga, it is Neta, Netaro, Netaraha. So the difference between this and Pita, Pitra Shabda is that there we had Pita, Pitarau, Pitaraha. This Dirgha Ta was not there. Here we have Netarau, Netaraha. Similarly, in Sambodhana, we have He Netaha. That is similar to the Pita, He Pitaha. Here we have, instead of He Pitarau, we have again He Netarau. And instead of He Pitaraha, He Netaraha. Similarly, in Dvitiya Ekavachanam, instead of Pitaram, we have Netaram. And in Dvitiya Dvivachanam also, we have, instead of Pitarau, we have Netaro. So this Dirgha in these places is the only difference. In Dvivachana, in Prathama and Sambodhana, Prathama, I mean Dvivachana and Bahuvachana, and in the Dvitiya Vibhakti, in Ekavachana and Dvivachana, we have the Dirgha instead of Harasva. Otherwise, in all other places, it is exactly like the Rikaranta Pitru Shabda. So, somebody who wants to read can. Malini Kumar.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Ram. Neta, Netarau, Netaraha, He Netaha.
Netaraha.
Netarau, Netaraha. He Netaha, He Netarau, He Netaraha. Netaram, Netarau, Netrina. Netra. Huh?
Yes. Netra.
Netrina. Netra, Netrabhyam, Netrabhi, Netre, Netrabhyam, Netrabhyah, Netuhu, Netrabhyam, Netrabhyah, Netuhu, Netrohu, Netrabhyam, Netari, Netrohu, Netreshu.
Netrohu, Netrishu.
Netrohu, Netreshu.
Netrishu. So this is for the Pullinga Rikaranta Neta Netra Shabda. So this is Neta is somebody who leads or takes, is called a Neta. Similarly, if it is a Napumsakalinga Pada, then we have Netra. Can you read this as well?
Netra, Netrani, Netrani. He Netra, He Netrani, He Netrani. He Netra, oh sorry, Netra, Netrani, Netrani.
So in Napumsakalinga, the Prathama, Sambodhana Prathama and Dvitiya are all the same.
Netra, Netrabhyam, Netrabhi, Netre, Netrabhyam, Netrabhyah, Netuhu, Netrabhyam, Netrabhyah, Netuhu, Netroho, Netrunam, Netari, Netroho, Netrishu.
Dhanyavada. Next is the Strilinga Netra Shabda. The Strilinga form is an Ikaranta Strilinga Netri Shabda. This is exactly like Nadi Shabda. So somebody, Amita Bhargava, do you want to read?
Ram Ram Bhagini.
Ram.
Ikarantaha Strilingaha Netri Shabdaha Netri Netrayau Netrayaha He Netri He Netrayau He Netrayaha Netri.
Just a second, Bhagini. It's Netrayau. You cannot hear the ikara there. Netrayau. You should not be able to hear the e. You should just say Netrayau.
Netri, Netrayau, Netrayaha.
Yes.
He Netri, He Netrayau, He Netrayaha. Netrim, Netrayau, Netrihi, Netrya.
This is the dirgha ikara. So Netrihi.
Netrihi, Netrya.
Like Nadihi.
Netri. Netrya, Netribhyam, Netribhihi, Netrai, Netribhyam, Netribhyah, Netrayaha, Netribhyam, Netribhyah, Netryaha, Netrayoho, Netrinam, Netrayam, Netrayoho, Netrishu.
So there is no difference between this and the Nadi Shabda. This is like a normal Dirgha Ikaranta Shabda. Dhanyavada. So we will look at some of the dhatus, what the Rikara added, the Trich Pratyaya addition makes it, and what is the meaning. So we have Patha, Raksha, Da, Dha, and Gam. So the meaning will be, after adding this Pratyaya, we have Patita, Patitri, Patitri. So this becomes the Patitri Shabda. In feminine, it is Patitri. So all these mean reader. So Patha Dhatu, we add the Trich, we get the Rikaranta. Raksha is to protect. So when we add the Tri, we get protector. Rakshita, Rakshitra, Rakshitri. These are the Prathama Ekavachana forms of masculine, neuter, and feminine genders. Da is to give. So Data is the giver. Data, Datri, Datri. Dha is the creator. Dha is to bear or to create or to do. So the person who is doing or creating is the creator. Dhata, Dhatri, Dhatri are the words in the three lingams. Gam is to go. So Ganta is a goer. The person who is going is Ganta. Can be in masculine Ganta, and Napumsakalingam Gantra, and Srilingam Gantri. Again, all the Ikaranta Shabdas decline exactly like Nadi Shabda. So the Strilinga is like Nadi, but all the Rikaranta Napumsakalinga Shabdas, the Prathama Vibhakti, Sambodhana Prathama Vibhakti, and Vidya Vibhakti are exactly the same. So Patitra, Patitrani, Pathitrani, Rakshitra, Rakshitrani, Rakshitrani, and similarly for the others. Other than that, it is exactly like the Pullinga forms. After the Tritiya Vibhakti onwards, it is just like the Pullinga forms. Next is Shas, to order, Kr, to do, Drish, to see. So Shasta is the ruler, the one who orders. Shasta, Shastra, Shastri in the three lingas. Kr is the doer. Karta, Kartra, Kartri. Drish is the person who sees. drashta, drashtru, drashtri. Ni is, as we saw, neta. It is neta, netru, and netri. Now we have some sentences. Before that, if there are any questions, I will take them. There is a chance of confusing the Chaturthi of this with netre, meaning the eyes. Only the context we have to understand. That's true. The word is the same. So based on the context, we decide whether it is the dvivachana of netram or is it the Chaturthi vibhakti of neta. So I think we can do one set of exercises. Pranati Bhatt.
Namaste Bhagini.
Namaste.
Dhata Jagat Srajati. The creator creates the universe.
Yes.
Data Daridrebhyaha Dhanam Yachati. Bhagini Daridrebhya.
Daridraha is a poor person. So the donor gives money to the poor people.
Poor person. Ramaha Janakasya Jamata. Rama is the son-in-law of Janaka Mahar.
So this is Jamatra Shabda. So the Prathama Ekavachanam is used here. Rama Janakasya Jamata. Pullinga pada is Jamata.
Devaki Krishnasya Mata. Devaki is Krishna's mother.
Matra Shabda. Again here it is a Prathama Ekavachanam.
Mata. Radha Vrishabhanoho Duhita. Radha is Vrishabha's daughter.
Vrishabhanu's daughter. Duhita. Again Duhitra. Daughter. Uttam. We will try the next set as well.
Krishnasya Patni Rukmini. Rukmini is Krishna's wife. Balaramasya Patni Revati. Balarama's wife is Revati. Rukmini Revatyaha Yata. Rukmini is Revati's
sister-in-law.
Sister.
Yeah, sister-in-law. That is husband's brother's wife.
Yes.
Okay.
Revati Rukminyaha Yata. Revati is Rukmini's co-sister.
Yeah.
Vali Sugrivasya Bhrata. Vali is Sugriva's brother.
So all these are again used in Prathama Vibhakti only. Yatra Shabda and Bhratra Shabda. Vali is Sugriva's brother. Okay. Dhanyavad. So translate the following into Sanskrit. Ramya Vijayaraghavan.
Namaste.
Ram.
Namaskara.
Namaskar.
Subhadra Balarama Krishna Yoho Swasa. Subhadra is Balarama and Krishna's sister.
Swasra Shabda. We have not seen this yet. There is a slight difference between this and Matra and Duhitra Shabdas. So we will see that a little later. But the Prathama Ekavachanam is Swasa.
Okay. Subhadra Rukminyaha Nananda. Subhadra is Rukmini's sister-in-law. Yachakaha Dataram Prashansati. Yachakaha is a mendicant or a beggar.
Yes, yes.
Praises the donor.
It should not be beggars, it should be in singular. I'll change that.
Jananayaka Rajyeshu. What is Mantrinaha Evam Shastaram.
Eva Shastaraha. So here, Jananayaka Rajyeshu means in democratic countries.
Jananayaka Rajyeshu. The ministers are the rulers.
Yes, ministers are the rulers. So here we have the Shastra Shabda. So from Shas Dhatuhu, we get the Shastra Shabda. And in the Prathama Bahuvachanam, it is Shastra, Shastarau, Shastara. So here it is the Prathama.
As with the Pita, the same as in the Pitru Shabda that we saw.
Pitra, we have Pita, Pitarau, Pitaraha. But this is Shasta, Shastarau, Shastara. There is a Dirgha. That is the only difference between Pita and Shastra Shabda. Pitra and Shastra Shabdas. So in democratic countries, the ministers are the rulers. Yes.
Hotuhu. What is Hotuhu?
The one who performs a sacrifice is a Hota.
Okay. So Hotuhu netre dhumena avile bhavata. Because of the smoke. And avile is?
His eyes, his vision is affected, so it becomes
the eyes of the two eyes of the person performing the fire sacrifice are dim due to smoke.
So here the emphasis is on Hotuhu because it is the Shashti Ekavachana form. Just like Pitu, we have Hotuhu.
Okay. Yes.
So we will stop here. I think we have exceeded
that. Avile bhavat. Yes.
Avile is becoming muddy or slushy usually, but here with eyes we can say that has become the vision is affected.
Vision is affected because of the smoke.
Yes. Dhanyavada.
You want me to finish these also?
No, we'll stop here. We've exceeded the time, so we will continue in the next class. We will recite the Shanti Mantra. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayaha, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Dhanyavadaha.